Samurai Jack, Season 5, Episode 6. This was definitely a nostalgia-inducing episode. We start off with what the preview showed us last week. Ashi is traveling on a rotorcraft and she is confronted by two creatures that we longtime viewers think to be the Woolies. They think she's Aku's bounty hunter and believe that she's a threat to Jack. They attempt to subdue her, but she is easily able to evade them. Ashi tells them that she's not trying to hurt him, but trying to find him, and that he might be in danger. They ask if she's his friend, and she's unable to give a definitive answer. They claim that they are friends with Jack. They remove their hoods, and our prediction is true. They are Woolies. Then we get a nice flashback of Jack freeing them from bondage. As we knew beforehand, Ashi is going to find out a lot about Jack's good deeds over the years in this episode, and the episode wastes no time in starting that. As the episode progresses, she will know more and more about how selfless Jack is. She is told that this is where Jack got off. She thanks the Woolies for sharing their story and departs. After, the man in charge makes a funny comment about how she's supposed to get off when they land. Another showing of a quick snippet of comedy that is added into a scene. In a brief scene, we found out that our favorite character Scaramouche is still alive. He remembers that Jack broke his phone. Now he has to hop his way to Aku in order to inform him that Jack lost his sword. Ashi makes her way through a forest and she sees numerous beetle drones running away. Coming from the same direction are men with bows and arrows. She tells them that she is not an enemy of Jack and seeks to help him. One of the men says that a friend of Jack's is a friend of theirs. They are the men who were previously the three blind archers. Jack saved them by breaking their curse. It is obvious that they will tell Ashi the story. Now we are anticipating another flashback of how Jack helped these people. The man brings Ashi to their home and says that none of this would exist without Jack. In fact, they actually created a statue of Jack, honoring him. In the flashback, the man explains that him and his people were cursed and bound to guard a magical portal. Jack was able to defeat them. He decided to free them instead of using the portal to go back to the past. The man calls it an act of unmeasurable sacrifice. Another occurrence detailing Jack's selflessness. I'm critical of Jack's decision to free the people instead of going to the past. In the grand scheme of things, going back to the past and ending the inevitable suffering of millions in the future would have been better than simply freeing a group of people. Besides, if you went back and defeated Aku, those same people would have either never been born or would have been free as well. Yes, it was an act of unmeasurable sacrifice, but that doesn't take away from the fact that it was the wrong decision to make. Obviously, the curse was implemented by Aku. Ashi asks if he has passed through here, but the man says they haven't seen Jack since the day he saved them, but they have an undying allegiance to Jack. Just watching the scene made me think of a potential giant battle comprised of these men, the Scotsman and his daughters, and Jack's other allies as they fight towards, presumably, the final remaining portal. We get another scene with Scaramouche. He has finally reached his destination and displays his jubilation, but is quickly interrupted when he is hilariously kicked down a hill. He gets to a ship, but security guard prevents him from entering. We find out that he is no longer Aku's top assassin, but now we are left to wonder who Deathblow, Da Bomb, and Gentle Jim are. This scene just displays how great Scaramouche is in contributing comedy to the show. Scaramouche is eventually able to obtain a body for a short amount of time and is granted entrance onto the ship. Upon seeing how the man looked like, we all had the same thought as to what he resembled. Surprisingly, Scaramouche explicitly makes reference to this, which reminded me again that this show is on Adult Swim and not Cartoon Network. We see Ashi again and she has arrived at a rave. She is completely out of her element in this environment. She asks about Jack's whereabouts and the DJ on stage assumes she is seeking to harm him. We realize that the DJ is Olivia. She was freed from her brainwashing after Jack defeated the previous DJ and his brainwashing equipment. Ashi is once again quick to say that he may be in danger and that he needs her help. The DJ is quick in her mood change and through her music explains how Jack saved them. Everyone is dancing to the music and their dance is similar to the striking training Ashi did as a child. She is easily able to join in on the dance and has a short moment of bliss with no stress. It's nostalgic because it reminds longtime viewers of when Jack was dancing at the very same rave. She thanks them and resumes her search for Jack. She arrives at a waterfall and we get a flashback of her childhood. Her and her sisters were thrown into a pit of hot coal. It was definitely an uncomfortable scene to watch. The trainers did that to increase their pain tolerance, but also did it so that they would be one with the darkness. From being forced into a pit of hot coal, Ashi now voluntarily jumps into a pool of cool water. She begins cleaning herself, and upon finishing, the darkness that was on her body is now gone. She has separated herself from the darkness. She is no longer one with it. She is able to make new clothing using her surroundings and now looks completely different. It's clear what this represents. By being told stories of Jack's selflessness and righteousness, Ashi's hate has been washed away. The hate that Jack rightfully believed would prevent Ashi from changing has now been completely eliminated. It's even more obvious when we take into account that Ashi was legitimately scrubbing the darkness off of her. The darkness of her attire exemplified the darkness of her psyche, but now her mindset has changed. Therefore, a change in attire was made in order for her appearance and mindset to remain consistent with one another. From listening to stories about Jack's goodness and her active effort in cleaning away the darkness, Ashi has successfully changed for the good. We get back to Scaramouche and he's able to contact Aku via payphone. It's surprising that they still exist this far into the future, as they are essentially extinct in today's society. Unfortunately for Scaramouche, Aku is unable to hear what he's saying because of the noise on the ship. He attempts to get the crowd to quiet down, and being without a filter, he just ends up angering them. He goes goes back to the phone and is taken away from it just before he was about to tell Aku that Jack has lost his sword. Aku is annoyed and just hangs up the phone, and Scaramouche is thrown off of the ship. Ashi enters a building in order to avoid the rain. Upon entering, she looks at the people inside and they seem to be dangerous. It's a bar, and it looks familiar. She tells the bartender that she is looking for Samurai Jack. The bartender is hilarious and unable to hear what she is saying, and she eventually yells it out. From looking at his glasses, he looks familiar as well. Upon doing that, every person in the bar stands up and is right behind her. They start laughing and tell her about how tough Samurai Jack is and the things that he has done to them in battle. It is finally confirmed that the bartender is the samurai. He goes into detail about how he used to be a samurai, but then he met Jack, who showed him the true meaning of being a samurai. After realizing he wasn't a true samurai, he gave up his sword and started working as a bartender in the place where they first met each other. They are interrupted by a returning Demongo, who says he has come to collect the souls of the greatest warriors. Upon looking at the crowd in the bar, he says he sees he has come to the wrong place and leaves. Another nice nod to longtime viewers of the show. Ashi decides to leave the bar and is confronted by someone outside. She asks if she's the one who is looking for the samurai. Ashi says yes, and then the person asks if she's his friend. Again, Ashi is hesitant, but instead of saying I don't know, she gives a definitive answer, yes. Upon hearing this, the being tells her to follow the path north. Ashi looks north and then is about to ask the being who they are, but when she looks back, they have disappeared. She follows the path north and arrives at a place that appears to be a graveyard. Note how the color surrounding the area is similar to the color that surrounds the mysterious warrior that Jack sees in his hallucinations. This foreshadows that Ashi is about to see Jack. Shortly after, Ashi finds Jack in a kneeling position with a sword in front of him. She calls out to him in a happy voice and the camera cuts to Jack. The shine in his sword makes it obvious what is about to happen. He is preparing to commit seppuku. The camera cuts back to Ashi and she knows that something is wrong. The mysterious warrior appears and speaks to Ashi. He tells her that she may witness, but she cannot proceed any further. Now we realize that the mysterious warrior was not exclusive to Jack's mind. He is actually dead, a ghost that haunts Jack. He tells Ashi that this is the end. Now she too knows what Jack is about to do. The mysterious warrior was a great warrior of the past along with 4 others, and they surround Jack as he is about to kill himself. Jack wants to die with the little honor he has left, as opposed to continue living as a failure. The mysterious warrior says that Jack has failed his purpose and has accepted his fate. Jack raises his sword as Ashi looks on in fear. She can't let this happen and attempts to stop him, but the mysterious warrior hits her away. He tells her that this doesn't concern her and that there is no hope. The mysterious warrior and Jack have the same opinion about Jack's circumstances. There is no hope, but Ashi is quick to refute that by saying that there is hope everywhere Jack has helped and saved people. The mysterious warrior decides to try and silence Ashi by force. He returns to Jack and tells him that the hope is not real, but his failure is. He must face the consequences or continue to bear the guilt of his dishonor for all eternity. For 50 years, Jack has endured this dishonor and is now at the breaking point. Ashi emerges from the wreckage. She tells Jack not to do it and that he is being misguided. Note how the roles have changed. Jack spent episodes trying to convince Ashi that she was misguided, and now Ashi is the one trying to convince Jack that he is misguided. She again reiterates that he has saved countless innocents, how he showed her the truth and saved her life. But the warrior is quick to have contrasting words after once again silencing Ashi. He speaks some truth when he says death follows in his wake. Men, women, children, and that all those children died because of him. But Ashi says that those children are alive and it's because of him. The mysterious warrior goes to try and deliver a final blow to Ashi, but Jack saves her. From the sight of Jack's face, it is clear that he is reinvigorated. He destroys the mysterious warrior, eliminating his hallucination in his mind forever. The 4 remaining warriors return to their graves, having acknowledged that Jack still desires to fight and survive. Jack sees Ashi and tells her that he likes her hair and dress. Ashi asks what now, and Jack says it's time to find his sword. Another amazing episode. We only have 4 left. The mystery of the warrior and Jack's hallucinations has been solved, and now all that's left for Jack is to find his sword and get to the past. I did promise a theory discussion video, but this week was busy, so I'm hoping to get it done before next week's episode. Were you correct about the mysterious warrior? Obviously, I was completely wrong with my prediction regarding that he was the one who took Jack's sword. What do you think about Ashi's cleaning scene? Did you have the same interpretation as me? Let me know what you thought of the episode and the analysis. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see y'all on the flip side.